Okay. Looks like we're coming in force backhands. Got them more kind of like this. Cutters are set up. Sort of in a weird hoe, coming in from a stoppage. One thing to notice is that the handlers are pretty close, so we can probably look for some bullshit in this backfield space. Especially with this guy face guarding, like, really the only threatening space right now is kind of like back here. So as this guy, you really gotta be heads up, looking for this space. And as this guy, you also kind of know that this cutter wants to clear under to the break side to open up this lane, which means if you're this guy, you can also like look for a poach opportunity on this cut. And the most important guy really in this situation like is this, because this is the main look. Got Dylan Freechild set up downfield, and he's basically the ISO. As soon as this sideline guy clears out, which is what you should always do in the sideline, Dylan's basically got a 50-50 that he's going to win most of the time. And also notice that Austin doesn't have anybody playing over the top. So as this under defender, like, you really need to respect this. And you also kind of want to call for help. One thing you can do here is like you kind of see like this play potentially developing, but it's not happening yet. Like it can't happen until this guy completely gets out of the lane. So in that time, you can communicate between these two to set up a sort of bracket where somebody is helping over the top, somebody's taken away unders, and as soon as the disc taps in, you're not like lost. Let's see how they play it. It's coming in on 6, so I guess we just beat up line. Okay. I mean, he's already got a step. As this defender, you can't exactly poach this because, yeah, that leaves this throw too easy. So, okay, not much he can really do except jump it, and he kind of does try to. You can see, like, as he lines up, he's like, he's really getting to jump that. Okay. So now this guy catches the disc. As a handler, it is a good idea to just sort of clear. You're in this situation, there's two things you can do. You can either take this middle spot because you're like the closest to the disc, or you can go wide because there's already somebody in the middle spot. I kind of like going wide here. Let's see what he does. But also notice how this guy immediately starts trying to clear out. I would have liked for him to clear breakside. I think that gets him out of the lane a little bit faster, but let's say he takes his guy kind of deep on this lane. It does leave a sort of shallow lane for Dylan to come back for this inside, but as this thrower, you kind of have to like avoid this guy, and you also have to like make sure that that guy doesn't poach. So, like right here, as this guy's clearing deep, that's a perfect opportunity for this defender right here to try to pass that guy off to Vinay. And then just like take a look back at the disc, because you know this throw is probably not going off. This throw, you know you're going down the skinny side. So if this throw goes up, it has to be like fucking perfect. It has to fade to the break side where, you know, there's potentially help. And basically this cut's not very viable, and this is the perfect opportunity to take a peek back and also call for help here. So, I mean, this guy right here, he's kind of on his toes, because like we talked about before, Dylan's really the look here. But you really take this opportunity. I mean, this guy's kind of like not doing anything right now. Set that up, you know, yell Vinay like, hey, like maybe switch deep, maybe he drops back to this space, and then as this defender, you have perfect field of vision to see exactly what Dylan wants to do, what he's going to attack, and you kind of are in the perfect position to pick him up. It's really going to be hard for them to sort of like eat that sandwich. So now let's see how they do. Kind of goes for basically that exact play I was talking about. Vinay kind of honestly just gets toasted by him. But honestly, like this is kind of a win. If this throw goes up, it does seem like it's a little bit of an upwind. So I mean, you take whatever you can get, but like you get the disc on the trap sideline here with another mark. I mean, it's really not that much, and you could do a whole lot worse when you're guarding Dylan free child. The biggest threat here is like as soon as he catches this disc, again, you're in the situation where like now this guy is the next guy up. He's kind of in the perfect position right now. He has his defender on his heels, so you know if this throw were to go off, he does have the immediate continuation if he just wants like 5 yards. Doesn't really give him that much, but also he has a jab step go deep, and again, Texas doesn't have anybody playing help back. Like this guy looks like Potts. I mean, he's definitely got eyes on the thrower. So if this throw goes up, like he has time to, you know, go back and help, but he is starting behind the play if that does happen. So let's see what happens next. Throw doesn't go off, and I like that as soon as the throw gets waved off, we're immediately looking dump. I don't love this dump cut right here. He's going for the straight back, but he doesn't really leave a lot of space. It's basically a reverse wheel, and you can see it's pretty tightly defended. He's not going to be left with a lot of options. If he gets locked down here, he's probably got to fade out backwards. I don't love how Dylan is clearing this way. This is kind of a bad habit that, in my opinion, is a bad habit that a lot of mode players have, where, you know, it's going to take you a long time before you can get out of the lane, and this player, as long as he has somebody back to potentially switch, he doesn't have to really like try that hard to catch up to you. So it's going to take you it's going to take you like a full like maybe 3 seconds to clear this space and open up the lane for somebody else. It takes 1 second for me to yell at like number 10 to be like, hey, peel off, you know, I got this next cut coming under. And like when you clear that way, you just spend so much time in the lane. And look, the handler is in a kind of a tough spot. Our next handler, Phil, is like pretty far away. If Dylan's like, he doesn't see anything. If he clears, you know, you don't always have to clear towards the middle of the field, but if you at least like take a look, right? If he had just looked this way, you can see like, holy shit, like nothing's going on. I'm kind of clogging, but I'm also like in the only position to like really make a real cut. Dylan makes this cut, and you know, a lot of guys like we're just clearing 4 side deep. If instead he makes his cut back to the inside for a 7 cut, especially after, you know, because whenever you make this cut, you're looking back in field and you're gonna be able to see the thrower. So you're gonna see if you're cutting off, like for example, a strike cut here. But he's not. The cut went reverse wheel, which is bad in the first place, but Dylan absolutely could have given a second option for this inside 7 cut, which is not a hard throw for a lot of people to make at a higher level. See how they deal with it. They get the reverse wheel. That's tough. Again, Dylan's in this situation. I mean, you can't really go wrong if you're running hard, but, you know, when you run down this skinny sideline, you really don't give your team a whole lot of options. Like this guy, he really just has this like tiny narrow lane, and Vinay, if he's heads up, like it doesn't take that much effort to call for this switch. I would really love to see, you know, from Dylan and also like our team this year, just a clear sort of laterally going across the field. Really opens up like this throw, which a lot of our guys have, and then also like you just get out of the lane faster. Your guy has to like follow you a little bit in a way that he doesn't have to follow you if you're running up the skinny sideline. And it opens up so much more for this guy next in line to just use the entire width of the lane. Let's see what they do next. Okay. That's tough. That works too, I guess. dang good throw. Not much to say. I mean, he's basically there too. But you know, it's a lot easier when you have some deep help and yeah. All right, let's look at sockeye coming down on D. Looks like person. Texas is coming out sort of like got 3 handlers back, but almost like an ISO here. Yeah, I don't know if this is even sort of like a split stack look. I like this. Looks like it's sort of forcing flick, and you can see he's attacking the four-side space. He's pretty tightly covered, and he's going to break down. Let's see what he does next. Interesting. I don't know why he doesn't try to slash across here. I think that would have been a little bit easier, but okay, sure. That's kind of nice. That makes a decent deep cut. Let's see how we're working out of the split stack. So as this deep cut goes off, as this defender, I guess we're just going to try to beat him, or at least keep up with him in this foot race. This is the upwind direction, so it's like honestly not terrible. Honestly, in the same situation as the previous deep drop by sockeye, but you know, if you want to take that chance, you can take it. He decides not to, and you can see as soon as this guy vacates this underspace, everybody's looking to attack it. Unfortunately, we have 2 guys kind of attacking it, and they're on opposite sides of the field, so a little bit difficult for this guy to see this guy, but they both end up trying to make this slash and cut into this space, which is, you know, a little bit unfortunate, but honestly what you should do anytime you have somebody vacating the deep space like this. The one thing I will say about Kyle's deep cut here that is a little different than the previous ones is that, like, I like this a little bit better. He is kind of four-side clearing deep still, but notice, like, he's in the middle of the field, so, like, this is honestly a pretty great deep shot. If this guy is, like, willing to, you know, throw it four-side, maybe he throws, like, a big backhand fade, you know, or big OI fade, something like that, like, you can let Kyle make a play, sure. You end up getting one of the slash cuts, and interesting thing I see here is that we have an immediate strike cut. He's not really like waiting to be activated. I mean, I guess you have eyes here. Biggest thing I'm really looking at is the cutters and also how the defenders are playing them. So I kind of like how we're backing number 14 a little bit here. You don't really have any deep help, and this cut is so shallow. I mean, this is what, like 10 yards at the most, that if that guy gets a step, even especially with like a little bit of an upwind, you know, we can really put like a nice floaty throw out to space because the cut starts so shallow. Like, you give the thrower a lot of room for error, and he can make that throw. So as this defender, we're backing him a little bit, and we're just saying, okay, you can go under, but I'm contesting everything, and even if you get it, you're getting 2 yards. As this defender, you kind of know your guy's next up. This guy and this guy are sort of the active cutters, and honestly, I think like the guy in the middle of the field just has like a little bit of a better angle to cut deep from, and you kind of know that. So as this defender, like, you're kind of in a tough spot, and everything's happening pretty quick. Let's see how they play it. One thing that I notice a lot watching high-level film is just how little time even like the best handlers spend looking upfield. So one look, we look dump, but okay, we saw this cut coming, and he's got his defender sealed off, so we're gonna take this throw. This guy, one look, and immediately he's already looking dumb. He's locked in. He's locked in early. This guy has been a handler on Soul for like 10 years, you know, maybe longer, maybe since like frisbee was invented. He's not the fastest guy, but you know, he's a handler. One look, I mean, he doesn't even give us a realistic chance. Like he just sees like, okay, this defender, he's doing a good job. He's played him over the top. He's not letting him get anything easy. And even if I get this underthrow, like I'm not really getting a lot out of it. So me, I'm stuck on this trap sideline. I would much rather just swing it off immediately. And so that's sort of what he looks to do. Pretty good dump defense here. I also like that, you know, I'm not sure what this guy's doing, but he's definitely jamming it up a little bit. He kind of, you know, this handler kind of notices like, oh shit, like my defender's in the play. I need to get my defender out of the play. So he's kind of coming out here, trusting that like either this swing is going to go off and he can get the next one, or trusting that this guy is going to get the fuck out of the way and leave a sort of wide open swing open to where we can really punish this guy sort of like poaching and jamming this general space. Like when you have this space jammed, you want to get away from it as much as you can. But okay, market's broken, that's fine. And now, like now you see this guy's kind of out of position. We have an open swing if we want it, but we don't see it. And I don't love that he's looking upfield here. Like, I think you can throw one fake here, but you kind of see like there's a lot going on. We got one, two, oh, wrong color. We got one, two, like three cutters in this like four side lane. Mark is playing pretty tight too. He's playing like way more than a quarter, and like also a defender here, and I mean look at this guy. Like he's got eyes. He's ready to take away this throw if this goes off. That gets looked off, and I mean, this is kind of a situation where I guess like if you're in Noah, you have to clear deep here because your defender hasn't followed you far enough to where if you actually clear across, you kind of give your defender an easy time getting this lane to make a play. At the same time, like you're kind of open, but not open enough. So like you can't really just go here and hang out because it also gives your guy an easy way to make this play. So yeah, I mean, in this situation, you probably got to get out that way. This guy's doing a good job of getting out. I expect him to sort of get out this way. But in general, like if you're the handler, what do you see? You basically see this is like clogged. If you see that number 42 like doesn't play hard all the way through, like maybe you make this throw, but it goes all the way out to the sideline. You don't really get a lot. You probably just look dumped here. He looks that off, and I love how he just swings it immediately. He doesn't wait to see, like, can my guy get some separation? Like we see clogging, we swing it immediately. We see clogging, we swing it more or less immediately. Oh, I like this look. That's tough though. I mean, a big fucking mark. And again, just one look. This guy's stall one, stall two, and he's already looking dumb. Especially like with a little bit of upwind. I mean, it's tough. That's a nice break. How did he get there? Okay, this cut goes off. This is tough. I mean, you can really try to hit that, but you know, this is a pretty good mark. Throw the shimmy, it doesn't work. And in this situation, what do you do? I mean, maybe you can dig across, but again, your defender hasn't followed you far enough to like you're kind of running at your guy. He's got an easy time catching up. So this is again another situation where you don't want to take that inside lane on your clear. This is a situation where you do want to get out, just kind of get out of the play as soon as you can. And this is fine because in those previous situations, like the next guy up, he was like downfield, right? And so when you're clearing deep towards the next guy up, who is also downfield, like you're just asking your defenders to call for a switch, right? You're just asking for that switch to happen. In this situation, like, there's nobody really to switch, so this is a fine clear. And this is just a nice throw. You gotta take that throw, man. I don't know what's going on here. I like that we swing immediately, though. Interesting that we make a little cut here, and then we decide to just go deep. Again, like, clearing deep, way better when you're in the middle of the field, and especially if you see, like, nobody really, like, ready for that switch. I mean, I don't know what number 10 is looking at, but he does not seem ready. So he goes ahead, he punishes that, and look, like, he doesn't get it, but the swing went off, and now we've got, like, wide open space under. And especially if you're this player and you clear hard enough, like, you're not really going to give your defender much of a chance to stay in the play. Oh, but the huck goes up. That's crazy. God damn. And that deep cut really developed over a while, so this gets looked off. He can still hit him and get him in the breakside. But okay, fine. Doesn't get thrown. But immediate swing, again, way that this guy is looking to cut. He's really he's throwing this jab, and he's trying to continue the flow of the disc. Disc is moving this way. You want to get it to, again, move that way. He sees it doesn't come, and ooh. I think the reason he knows it's not coming is actually because this defender. Like, if you see clogging as a cutter, and you know, you can kind of get an idea ahead of time that, like, the throw is not going to go up. So... that gets looked off. Find the swing immediately. And yeah, like, Evan's making this cut, right? But he sees that this whole thing is going on, and so he kind of knows already it's not going to be valuable, which... why he pulls up kind of early. How does this guy get here? Why is he there? Is he just front of the stack guy? Okay, he was just the third handler, front of stack, and... yeah, honestly don't love that he's, like, making a move. I mean, this is kind of slippery. Like, this throw is definitely a look. And I'm not even going to go so far as to say it doesn't get a lot, because it does get momentum to the break side. I kind of like it. It's just unlucky that it sort of ends up clogging this a little bit. It's not really looking at it either. He looks it off. And then he does end up finding him on that swing, so it is whatever. And then again, like, we watch Evan throughout the whole play. He's watching it happen. He sees this sort of clogging as he's making this cut, and is going to determine whether or not he can make it. He sees it. He knows, like, okay, it's probably getting looked off. The fake goes up. Takes one step. He kind of, like, almost double move. Kind of nice. Something for the agility drills on your own. Yeah, hit the poach, and then Evans lost his guy, and I mean, notice how he looks around too. Like, just really good habits all around. And at this point, like, he sees there's no deep help. And if this guy, number 10, is flat on his feet, he doesn't pick me up, I'm fucking gone. I'm fucking gone, and even if I burn my defender and I don't get it, like, as Evan, you see all this space to work with. So, like, I know I'm fucking gone, and if I don't get it, like, I have all of this space to work with. So, like, at this point, you just know you're golden. He looks back, he sees a shooter has the disc, and he says, fuck it. I'm gonna keep going. And this is some interesting action. Let's Let's not look dumb. I lied. Forget I said anything. I didn't say anything. I stopped myself. I mean, you know, you're in a tough situation here, especially like if this cut hadn't worked out, it actually would have been kind of bad. As these handlers, you're drifting and like you're creating a lot of space, which is good, but like look at where your defenders are. Like they're like in the perfect position to kind of take away everything. So I don't know. I mean, it looks like we're sort of force flick here. Kind of like for one guy to just like stick 45 back maybe. But it gets a little chaotic. Ends up paying off. I mean, crazy moving the mark by this guy. That's just too easy. And I think that's good enough for now.